what I should be thinking about when I'm in top of half is a lot of the times I'm going to try and scoop the head, right? But this is especially important when they are coming in to this leg here. Because if we wait too long and he manages to use his knee to push ourselves away or come up onto this leg, right? Now, if he has a butt frame, I'm too far away to effectively frame or cross face him to stop him from doing the move. He has a lot of power there. So I need to stop him before he gets underneath me. So if he starts like eyeing my thigh here, right, as he comes in, I want to hook in and I want to just get my arm in the way here, right? I don't want to like try and drive into anything. Kind of counterintuitive, what you actually want to do for the crossface here is pull him in, right? So by coming here, I can make sure that I get his face nice and contacted with my shoulder, with my bicep, and I can kind of block that space so we can't get any further underneath me here, right? So we're here, and we're gonna pull him in, right? So from here, what I would like to do, if I get the opportunity, is get this underhook here, right? Because what I want to do in half guard, one of the things that I look for, wait, I'll scoop this really quick. One of the things I look for when we're trying to pass the half guard is I want to put him flat, and I really want to control this hip space here, what we call the hip control zone, or what some people I know call the hip control zone, right? If he's flat, he's really hard to deal with, right? Not only does he have hip movement, or no, if he's on his side, he's really hard to deal with because he has the ability to move his hips a lot better, right? So he can do things like shrimp so that he can bring his elbow, or his knee rather, to the inside, or he can start getting his legs more into play here, right? So our goal, our first like crossface here is to make sure that he can't effectively load us up or start attacking my leg here, right? And from here, if I can underhook his arm and establish a gable grip, I want to start flattening him out, right? And what I'm feeling for is where his hips are turned, right? So if he's turned towards me, this is still going to be really difficult because he's able to get his knee in play and his legs are doing really annoying things. So what I want is I want to start moving his hips until his knees are up, or that his hips are pointed towards the ceiling here, right? And either I can continue driving forward and do things like escape my knee and cut through, which is nice, right? Or I can start trying to walk my legs out, kind of depending on what you prefer to do here. But half guard is really, really hard to pass if we don't have any control of his hips and he's turning into us. So, right, there are other ways that I like to make this happen, right? So if Ethan starts going for my leg, right, I'm gonna scoop and pull his head into this cross face here. So I wanna pull my elbow towards my hip because that's where I'm gonna be the strongest here, right? And I'll be able to control here, right? If maybe I can't get this underhook, he's being tight with his arm, right? What I can also do is I like to try and get this leg here stapled on its bottom leg, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna straighten out my back leg, and that'll provide me the space to get my foot into that knee right here, right? So sometimes I can just back step out, but most often they're hooking onto this leg somehow, right? So usually, or oftentimes what I'll do is when I'm here, I'll take a big step up with this foot here, right? And this will help shelve this leg, right? And make it so that it's not coming in front of my chest. All right, so let's rotate again. So, go after the leg, cross face. All right, so I'm gonna straighten my back leg, and I'm gonna find space for my foot to staple it here, right? Sometimes I can back step, like if he's not holding on, but if he is holding on with his leg here, I'm gonna step up, right? Right, from here, I can keep driving this knee to the floor, and now I'm gonna windshield wiper my foot to the other side of his leg. Getting his hip flat is like super important, right? Sometimes if I can, right, I'll just come in to this position here and really bear down on the hips with my upper body here, right? And hunker down until I can turn and escape my knee and start working my way back, right? But my goal here is, again, to get him off of his side and try and get some part of my body like right inside here. What I really like is having him flat in here, right? Here, what I'm worried about getting Kimura here, but as long as I keep my arm kind of tucked under my leg, it should be safe. All right, and here I can start either trying to turn my hips to escape out with a reverse kesa, right? Or I can see if I can get my head scoop and arm scoop so that I can try and walk my knee out and either go into my quarter guard or pass across into a side control, right? So, all right, so we're here, right? And this right here is a good anchoring point for me to make sure that I don't go like flying back, right? Especially if he starts to get a knee shield, right? Oftentimes I'm afraid of being pushed around, especially if he's trying to get my weight back so he can attack this leg here, right? He's already signaled to me that he wants to attack this leg, so I need to keep myself anchored to Ethan with something, and that's what this cross face is going to do. And again, that's why I don't try and drive forward and squish. I want to pull him to me to make sure that I stay attached here with my arm. So, all right, once we get here, if I can get this arm scooped here, and I'll start driving, coming up to my toes, and passing with the Hickson pass, right? Otherwise, if I don't think I can get into this space, I'm going to start trying to pin his hips to the mat with my staple. So I straighten out this leg and slip my toe in here. All right, and now I can take a big step in to kill his hips. All right, shoot his legs wide, and then I'll windshield wiper this out. All right, or sometimes this knee will drop. All right, he's trying to shin shield here, in which case I'll try and bring my knee and come in with a skip knee pass here. Skip knee leg grab, sorry. So if he's kind of wide open with the legs, I'll tend to try and open him up here with the big step out to the hip. Or if he's bringing this down and I don't think I can make that transition happen, I'll try and come across over the top and kill his hips this way. All right, so he goes for the leg, right? Our bicep is keeping him from going any deeper. My hand is keeping him from escaping away. And this is my anchor point, right? To keep me attached to Ethan without too much trouble. All right, now I'm gonna look to get this staple in, and now I can step up nice and wide. Squishing down, all right? I can take my right foot here and windshield wiper it so that it's past his guard. And now I can finish my pass here. All right, or we're looking at the skip knee leg drag. All right, so we stop him here, all right, pulling him into our arm. We're coming over the top this time, all right? Instead of coming underneath the leg, we're gonna get our knee right into this little spot here. And I'm gonna switch my hips and try and drive my knee to the floor and staple his bottom leg with my right leg here. I can use this now, this foot, to step up and gather up his leg so that his hips are turned away from me. And now I can set that there with my arm and pass. Here. Oh, yeah, can you hold on the leg? Yeah. All right, so when we step up here, right, we're shelving this leg. Another option would be to come into the single leg X here, right, where I can start attacking our heel hooks, or even better, I would say, would be the toe hold here. All right, so if he's not coming in for our leg, we can still do this move here, all right, where we straighten it out, caught my pants, and connect here on the leg with the bottom foot, all right? And now I'm gonna step in nice and big, okay? And then this foot comes behind here. But if I'm not smashing and I don't have the cross face, I tend to drive with the knee on belly. All right, otherwise if I have the cross face here, all right, and I'm connected, I tend to drive and block the hip as we transition through. right? But here I feel really good, right? I really like this because we can really anchor down onto the hip here, right? And I'm not afraid of being kicked off or like pushed off, right? Because a lot of the times as we're passing, a common thing to do is for people to start trying to push me down and keep me from advancing my position towards the top of the head, right? But if I'm able to lock down on this hip and kind of just like squeeze here, right? I can kind of ride out whatever crazy thing he's gonna do. And then when he kind of calms down a little bit, it's easy for me to make a transition through to side control. All right, so I really want to emphasize, like, how can I get into this space with some of my body, right? Because if I can get in here, I might be able to drive up for that underhook here, or that'll afford me the option to go into that reverse Keisugatami that I find really useful for passing the guard. All right, we could also come in and start attacking this leg here. Right? But anyway, see how I like this. When this knee gets involved, it's not fun. But if we step in, we can open up that space and then step through. Or if the knee's getting going, we can just sit on it here. But yeah, this far hip and flattening is like been definitely a thing I've been focusing on a lot in terms of passing. So, you know, however you can do it, you don't have to do it just with this technique, right? Some other way we've discussed flattening people out is stepping up and bringing them here, and then continuing into the other side with our skip knee leg connect. If I can get this knee past my body here, I'm gonna lock it down and make sure that I'm far forward enough to where he's not gonna be able to get this leg back. And now I can drive in.
Bad position right here, because I find myself here all the time.
If I can come in and underhook here, that would help.
Okay, and then from that underhook, you're gonna drive across my body, flatten me out.
Yeah, once I get this underhook, you're not going to do it. If I can't get that and you're being tight, I'd probably try and roll out.
Okay, roll out. Okay, but if I'm here...
Because I know that you're going to be trying to come up, so I'm going to try and probably beat you to it and roll through.
Okay.
But that's also going to be mildly risky, because if you're waiting for it, you might take the back here.
Okay, for sure.
But I mean, honestly, like, there's nothing good that's going to happen from you being arm direct here. So don't let, I don't know, let's see, pull. Go ahead, try to come down. I mean, what that was there. So once I had my arm over here, right, what I'm afraid of is you coming up and over and like getting two hooks in. Mm-hmm. So what I started to do is I took my foot here, rotate, took my foot here and put it on the inside of your leg here, like kind of like that staple. That way, as you turn me over, right, I can use this to keep your legs open so that I can escape through. So I've been thinking like of ways to keep my upper body connected. Sometimes I like to scoop under here and kind of lock down, which allows me to kind of grab, because most people are going to keep their leg bent, so this is pretty reliable. Like, people don't usually straighten that leg out, and which is what would cause me to slide down. But with a bent leg, right, like if he's shin shielding, I can kind of rely on this to keep myself connected to a person. Has been coming in here and then digging out this and being able to flatten him out here. And like, this is a really old school pass, where we come in, squish him, and the goal is going to be get this knee out, and now I can cut it across here, or I can cut it across the other side. But it's a little smashier than I like half guard. All right, so if we're here, we're able to cut, like if there's any space under this elbow, this is good. And now I can drive in and then just tiptoes up. And I could drop my knee through and cut. You know, if someone's coming in on this neck, you don't want to let someone come under this elbow and start locking in here. So I like to keep this elbow at least in contact with the shoulder here. That way you can follow them and make sure that you're going to be able to maintain that space. And then my job is, how can I find a clever way to not have that happen?
Mental games there.
Usually I'm here and I'll start cutting over for the Kumara here. Or if I can re-get this, then we can go back. But it depends. This is going to be dynamic. There's not going to be like a one shape fits all solution to that.
I gotcha.